In this video, we will discuss, or not discuss, but I will show you Rupert Lowe's stance on mass deportations, and then I will show you Nigel Farage's stance on mass deportations. Rupert Lowe's stance on mass deportations.
Our message to the world has to be this: if you come here illegally, you will be deported. Not housed in luxury accommodation, fed and cared for at the taxpayer's expense, deported. Not allowed to roam the streets entirely unchecked, with no limits, deported. Not free to apply for asylum under whatever lie the Home Office is buying this week, deported. Removing those with no right to be here is not cruel, it's not heartless, it's necessary. Language matters. These men are not desperate asylum seekers, they are not irregular migrants, they are illegal migrants, and they should be treated as such. Spreading them across the country into unsuspecting communities is pure insanity. Ask yourselves honestly, if a hotel at the bottom of your road was suddenly filled overnight with young foreign males who have entered the country almost entirely unchecked, would you be happy for your teenage daughter to go out after dark? If the answer is no, the answer is no. If you, I will give way.
Thank the honourable member for giving way. Does he agree with me that women across the country face very difficult situations working home at night, and often the tone of debate is incredibly important to maintain our safety in all situations?
I thank the honourable member for the question. I don't think the tone of the debate is in any way relevant to this. What's relevant to this is what the government does to protect the interests of the British people. So the answer is no. If you disagree, you're even more deluded than the Home Office. When I try to explore the actual cost of these hotels and the surrounding healthcare, travel, translation, recreational activities and more, I'm denied vast swathes of information by the Home Office. It's a cover-up. They say the Home Office doesn't pay for X or Y. That's because it's all subcontracted out on billion-pound contracts spread over 10 years. The list of further subcontractors on these contracts are fully redacted. Why might that be? Again, it's a blatant cover-up. Let me be abundantly clear. The full cost of these hotels is being concealed from the British public. I am doing everything in my power to uncover the truth. Locals aren't even informed about what's happened in their town. I asked the Home Office to develop a consultation process with residents before a hotel is hijacked. They refused and reminded me of their obligation to care for illegal migrants. What about the safety and needs of tax-paying local residents? Hotels are being filled with these young men in close proximity to girls' schools. Does anyone here find that acceptable? I've pushed the government to undertake a review into the impact on British women and girls of crime emanating from these hotels. Again, they refuse. Who is the Home Office actually serving? Sadly, I have little doubt that there is far more crime being committed by illegal migrants than we are being told. I've raised this time and again with the government. Nobody seems to care. There are roughly 30,000 illegal migrants in hotels around the country. As we know, the vast majority are young males, many from cultures that do not respect women. This is not racist, far-right, or whatever else. It's a reality, one we must start to deal with. Secure detention is required, not open hotels. If the facilities don't exist, build them. If we get serious on deportations, they won't be necessary for long. Send the following message and the boats will stop. If you come to the UK illegally, you won't be met with luxury accommodation. What will the British government do to you? 2 words: detain, deport. This is the only way. Thank you.
Nigel Farage's stance on mass deportations.
Leaving.
Do you support mass deportations?
Well, if people come illegally, they should not be allowed to stay. Simple as. Simple as. And the only way you're ever going to solve the channel, and boy, have a look at the last 3 days. 500 odd on Friday, 800 on Saturday, nearly 300 yesterday. I mean, the numbers are just exploding. These young men that are coming, and unless they know that, number one, they'll never be granted refugee status by coming via this route. That, number two, they're not going to stay. They'll keep coming. It's dead simple. Doesn't matter what you do to the gangs. I mean, you could give it, you could give these gang members life imprisonment, but the more people are going to step in to the gap because of the money involved. I mean, look, think about drugs. However big a sentences we give to drug dealers, there's always somebody else to come and fill that place. But we'll never do this as part of the ECHR. We'll never, ever do this. All the while, the British judiciary can lean on the Human Rights Act, which incorporated the European Convention. We will never, ever deal with it. And I think this is going to become one of the big fault lines in British politics, major fault line in British politics. Starmer, I was there. Starmer, in his second speech to the House of Commons, talked about his belief in the European Court of Human Rights and how we would never leave. We are absolutely clear that this organisation that was set up with the best of intentions 70 years ago is no longer fit for purpose, is through activism, has now moved into areas that it was never intended to do. And the Conservatives, it'll be just like Brexit. There'll be a few voices saying we should consider leaving. If we can't get what we need, we should consider leaving. There'll be the other lot who say, no, we should stay. They'll be all over the place. And it's going to be a very similar debate to Brexit.
But just back to the issue of deportations specifically, do you support that mass deportations? Trump says in America that he wants mass deportations. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants are in Britain at the moment. Some estimates say the number could even be in, 1 million plus. So do you support deporting all of those people?
It's impossible to do. Literally impossible to do. But do we have to begin the process? Yes. Look, we're told that we can't send people back to Afghanistan, right? That's impossible. Well, Germany, 2 weeks ago, did. Germany sent a plane load of people back to Afghanistan. If the Germans can do it, I'm certainly sure we can.
But if the Americans can do it, for example, in America, they are able to deport a lot of people. I know they haven't under this administration, but Trump was able to. It's not totally impossible, is it? I mean, it should be an ambition at least. Is it your ambition?
The mass deportations in America really happened under Eisenhower, where back in the 50s, he deported over 1 million people who'd come to America illegally. For us, at the moment, it's a political impossibility.
But is it your ambition?
No. I'm not going to get dragged down the route of mass deportations or anything like that. I think it's pretty clear there are a lot of people that have come who should not be given leave to remain. It's a heck of a job. It's a heck of a job. I just think with the backlogs, with all the problems we've got, we've got to go down the Tony Abbott route. We've got, the Australian Prime Minister who stopped this. We've absolutely got to be clear. We won't accept this. We're not going to put people in hotels. We have to start somewhere.
But these people who have come here, some of whom we don't know anything about, one case, terrible case recently, we saw Thomas Roberts, a 21-year-old, young British chap, being stabbed to death by someone who smuggled himself into the country in 2018. These people need to go, don't they? And by saying that you don't support, mass deportations...
If I say I support mass deportations, that's all anybody will talk about for the next 20 years. So it's pointless even going there.
So it's a rhetorical problem.
It's a political impossibility to deport hundreds of thousands of people. We simply can't do it. What I do think is the reason, particularly in France, the reason that Le Pen is going to win the presidency in 27 is the French population are making a link between some of the people coming into France and crime. And we're not even having that debate yet. And the government are actually willfully withholding the figures from us. Willfully withholding the figures. And it was bad under the Conservatives, but it's got worse under Labour. You can't even find out what groups have committed certain types of crime. And it's obvious that whilst loads of great people come to Britain, for the criminal gangs that want to come in, we're easy pickings. So I think, look, this issue of the population, of who's coming legally or illegally, this is going to be what decides British politics at the next general election. I have no doubt about that.
Since Nigel Farage basically had 5 minutes, I'm going to give you one more clip of Rupert Lowe.
Mass deportations of illegal migrants and foreign criminals must be our ultimate policy objective. Is it going to be logistically straightforward? Absolutely not. Is it necessary? Absolutely yes. It's mass deportations or a mass amnesty. I choose deportations. Will the Leader of the House commit to a debate in government time on how we can deport the numbers required on a rapid timescale that is acceptable to the British people who reasonably expect our borders to be policed and the law upheld?
Well, I would gently say to the honourable gentleman that these matters are not as simple as he might suggest. This government is absolutely committed to protecting our borders. In fact, we have returned more people, illegal migrants, than has happened in recent years, and those numbers are going up and up. We've introduced the Border Security Command, which is already taking action at source, and we need to work internationally to make sure that people don't want to come here in the first place illegally. But we've got to take a range of actions, and presenting some kind of false, easy solution, I don't think does the issue any good at all.
Between Rupert Lowe and Nigel Farage, who do you see as putting Britain first? Who do you see that could rebuild the country? Nigel Farage or Rupert Lowe? You decide. Thank you for watching this video. And if you liked it, please consider watching another video and hit the like button on your way out so the video gets more traction and it gets more views. And I know that you guys like the content. Have yourself a wonderful day.